We're going to get started here. If you're just joining, my name is Hannah and this is High Rise Yoga. Welcome, welcome. Nayeli, I'm going to post the link here for you again. It's in the chat for the playlist if you want to use that. It's Spotify. Find an easy seated position on your mat, ankles crossing under your knees here. Taking deep breaths in. Big in through your nose. Big out through your mouth. Big in through your nose. Big out through your mouth. Drawing up from the sit bones, up through the crown of the head, rolling the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to work on our equal breathing. We're breathing in 4 counts and then out 4 counts, in 4 counts and out 4 counts. So let's start that together. Inhaling in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. You can come back to your normal breathing now. If you're sitting outside or maybe you're sitting inside, just imagine the breeze on your face. Imagine the sky above you. Feel the grass beneath you. Just take this moment to set an intention for your practice today, your practice and your worship with Jesus. I'm going to start with a prayer. Lord Jesus, just thank you so much for this time on our mats, for this beautiful world that we live in. Thank you for the opportunity to connect with you, mind, body, and spirit. And just let us do unto others as we would have them do unto us. Let's practice the golden rule and share your love wherever we may go. In your name we pray, amen. I'm going to start with our scripture today. I mentioned we're going to be focusing on the golden rule, and with everything going on in the world right now, let's just practice love and what it says in Matthew 7:12. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. This is the golden rule. Inhaling your arms out, up and over your head. Exhaling down to the mat. Inhaling your arms out, up and over your head. Exhale down to the mat. One more time. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. And exhale them down to the mat. Right arm over on the right side. Inhaling, left arm up and over. Right forearm down on the right side. Left arm out, up and over. Drawing your heart up. Gaze can look up at your palms. Or it can just have a neutral neck. And then inhale into the left side of the body. Open that shoulder, left shoulder back and down. And then inhale back up to center. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, lean over to your left side. Inhale, the left arm up and over. Or right arm, excuse me, up and over. Drawing that right sit bone down towards the mat. Pull that right shoulder away from your ear. Again, gaze looking up at the palm. Feel that nice side stretch. Your sit bones should be both on the ground. So ground that right sit bone into the ground. There you go. Nice job. And then inhale back up to center. We're gonna inhale our arms up, clasping our hands together. We're gonna arch over to the right side. Really opening that left shoulder back and down. Remembering to keep both sit bones on the ground. Nicely done. Inhale back up to center. And then exhale, arching over to the left side. Remember to draw that right shoulder away from your ear. If you're hearing our playlist, we're talking about going back to the golden rule. Inhaling back up to center, and then exhaling the hands down. We're gonna take both of our legs out in front of us, and then we're gonna bend through the right knee, and we're gonna twist over to the right side here with this nice right leg recline twist. There you go. Looking out over your right shoulder, drawing up through the tailbone, up to the crown of the head. Any type of twist is great for detoxing. So if you're outside and sweating, this is also a great way to just get out all the toxins in your body. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. Exhale, release, come back to center. Both legs out on the ground. Inhale the left leg up, and we're gonna twist over to our left side. You can draw that right elbow onto the left knee, twisting over and looking out over your left shoulder. Breathe into your belly as you twist here. On the exhale, can you go deeper into the twist? And then exhale, release, come back to center here. Drawing the ankles under the knees again. Let's do some head rolls here. Starting this time left and back over to the right side. Just loosening up our shoulders. We have some dogs inside and they just want to come out and play with us so bad right now. Let's go the opposite direction, right, back, over to the left and forward. Just as we wouldn't want to harm anyone else, let's not harm ourselves today. So remember that as we flow through our practice here, to honor your body wherever you are. This is a practice and not a perfect. And we just want to enjoy this time on our mats. Coming back to center here, we're going to do some shoulder rolls. Pulling the shoulders back and down, big shoulder rolls. You can even get your arms involved as well to really loosen up the shoulder girdle. Remember to breathe, don't forget that. And then go the opposite direction here. Whatever feels good for you today. We were canoeing all day yesterday, so our arms are maybe feeling a little sore. All right, and let's come back onto hands and knees here. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under hips. And you're up on the ball of your back toes on your foot here. Inhale the belly down, arching. And then exhale, rounding through the spine, belly up towards the spine. into a cat pose. Inhale, belly down, gaze looking up. And then exhaling, pulling that belly in, arching. Can you press into all 10 fingers? Really feel that stretch in your upper thoracic spine. Inhaling down, flow with your breath here. We're really going to be working on balance today. Balancing positions, balancing moves, just balance in general. And then coming back to a neutral spine here. Curl the toes under, press back into downward facing dog. First down dog of the day. Your feet are about hip width apart. And all of your fingers are pressing into the mat. The fleshiness between your pointer and your thumb is really grounding into the mat here as you pull up from your wrists, up through your shoulders, and then your one straight line of energy down through the hips, out through the heels. So you might need to shorten your stance a bit. Your feet are facing straight forward. You can come up onto the ball of your feet and bend through your knees. Press those heels back towards the mat here. You can pedal out the legs. Just get comfortable here. Comfortable in your downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg straight up here. First three-legged dog that we have. We're gonna bend through that right leg and then really open up to the right side. Our hips are stacked on top of each other, that's the goal. And then start to move that right knee in a circular motion. And then the opposite way. Inhale, straight leg. Really push that right leg up towards the sky. And on the exhale, bring it forward up by the right hand into a high lunge here. You should have your knee stacked under your ankle. This is a huge hip flexor opener. If you need to, you can be down on your left knee. But if you're with me here in this high lunge, you're up on the ball of your back left foot. Big breath in. If your left knee is up, let's go ahead and lower it down to the mat. We're going to straighten through the right leg and come into an altered split, half split. Pulling back with the hips, making sure that the hips are level. You can flex through the right foot here and you'll get a nice stretch on the back of the hamstrings, even through the calves. Can you really pull back into your hips here? Try not to put too much weight in your hands and really just pull from that heel all the way up through the leg. Nice. Inhale, bend through the knee into that knee down lunge. And then exhale, push back into the half split. Inhale, bend through the knee, knee down lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, knee down lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, come back into that knee down lunge. Lift the left knee off the mat. And then we're gonna press back into that three-legged dog here, right? Raising the right leg up. Big stretch here. And then exhale it down on the mat. We're gonna do the opposite side. Inhaling the left leg straight up. Nice big stretch. And then bending through the left leg, opening up to the left side, stacking those hips on top of each other. Nice huge hip opener. And then begin to rotate the knee in circular motions. And then go the opposite direction here. Inhale, left knee straight up. And then exhale, bring it forward up by the left hand here. High lunge or knee down lunge, whatever's in your practice. Again, knee is stacked on top of the ankle here. We're not falling into our hands. We're up on the ball of the back foot, back right foot. Nice. Big stretch. You should feel a huge stretch in your right hip flexor. Can you engage the core a bit so that you can draw up a bit out of your hips? And then exhale, right knee down into this knee down lunge here. And then pressing the left leg straight back into this altered half split. Again, try to level your hips if you can. Drawing back from the heel, back through all the leg. Flex through the left foot. And really come up onto your fingertips. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, we're gonna come to that knee down lunge here. Exhale, press back into the half splits. Inhale, knee down lunge. Exhale, half split. Inhale, knee down lunge. And exhale, half splits. Inhale, knee down lunge here. Bring that right knee off the mat, curl the toes under, and then we're gonna press left leg straight up in that three-legged dog here. Big stretch. Exhale, draw it down. Inhale, right leg straight up. And exhale, bring it forward here. We're in this high lunge here. Again, we're on the ball of our back left foot. Knee is stacked on top of the ankle. We're gonna inhale and come up into a crescent lunge. Drawing up through the belly, engage the core as you do. Really focusing on that balance here. Can you bend through that front knee even more while drawing your hips and stacking them, leveling them? We want them to scissor a bit so that they're level. Engage the core. Draw up through the tailbone, up to the crown of the head. Strong arms here. Big breath. So whatever you wish that others do to you, also do to them. Exhale the hands down. We're gonna step back through our first plank here, engaging the core. And then we're gonna do a knee down chaturanga, blowing those elbows in towards our sides slowly as we lower down and come up into a baby cobra here. Just pulling the heart off of the mat. Hands are at our sides, heart is open, and then exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Just warming up everything. Big breath in, big breath out. Inhale the left leg straight up in a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it forward into that high lunge again. Remembering, knee is stacked over the ankle. We're on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, come up into our crescent lunge here. Again, scissor those hips, engage the core. Draw up through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head. Arms are engaged like you're holding a beach ball. Really bend in through that front knee. Engaging the core. And then exhaling the hands down towards the mat. Stepping back into our plank here. Let's hold plank. Bringing our belly up towards our spine. Wrists are under shoulders. We're on the balls of the back feet. And now let's do knee down chaturanga. Knees, chest, and chin coming up into this baby cobra here. Pulling the heart off of the mat. Really press into the mat with the tops of your feet here. Shoulders are rolling back and together. You're squeezing a quarter between your back shoulder blades. And now, if it's in your practice, go ahead and lift your hands off of the mat, engaging the core as you do so, Gaze is out just above your mat here. And then exhale, we're gonna press back into child's pose. Sit bones back towards the heels, knees out wide, drawing our hands out in front of us, letting the forehead fall on the mat. Can you tippy toe your fingers out even more to open up your shoulders? Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, coming back onto hands and knees here. We're gonna curl the toes under and press back into downward facing dog. Now we're gonna add on to our Vinyasa Flow here, but before we do, we're gonna work on some fun stuff here. So we're gonna move into bear. By bending through our knees here, our shins are hovering above our mat. They're parallel to the mat. Again, our hands are out wide, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, engaging the core as we're in this bear here. And what we're gonna do is press back into downward facing dog on the exhale. Inhale, back to bear. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, back to bear. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, back to bear. When we're doing those inhales into bear, we really want to engage the core. Inhale, back to bear. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog. Now what we're going to do is we're going to practice on, instead of hopping, or excuse me, instead of stepping up to the mat, we're going to hop up to the mat. So what we're going to do is kind of practice what we did with that bear pose by engaging our core and bringing our feet up towards the top of the mat. Now, if this is not your practice, again, we don't want to harm ourselves just as we wouldn't want to harm others. You can slowly walk up towards the mat. But if you want to maybe challenge yourself a bit today, let's try the hop. So inhale, come to bear pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. On this next one, we're going to try to hop to the mat. So inhale, bear pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to hop to the mat, to the top of the mat. Nice. We're going to hop back into our plank pose just by simply stepping back into our plank. So inhale, step back or hop back into plank. And then we're going to press back into downward facing dog. Inhale into bear pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to hop up towards the mat or step up. And then exhale, we're going to hop back or step back into our plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bear pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or hop forward up to the top of the mat. And then exhale, step or hop back into plank pose. Downward facing dog here, pedaling out our heels. Inhale, step or hop forward up to the top of the mat and hang here in a ragdoll. Grabbing the elbows, hinging from our hips, swaying from side to side. Shaking your head, yes. Shaking your head, no. Can you bring that head even further down towards the mat? Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your arms out, up, and over your head. And then exhale them back down to heart center. Inhale, your arms out, up, and over your head. Exhale, swan dive slowly down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your arms out, up, and over your head. Big stretch up towards the sky. And then exhale, swan dive down, hinging from the hips. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your arms out, up, and over your head. Big stretch up to the sky. And then exhale them back down to heart center, prayer pose. We're going to start to move through our sun salutation flow. Getting some heat in our bodies if we don't already have it. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. And then exhale them back down to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Make sure that your knees are not over your toes here. Engage the core. Tuck the pelvis a bit. Perfect. Can you wiggle your toes here? Nicely done. Arms are engaged. And then exhale, forward fold here. We're going to be flowing, taking our time this first time around, but then we're going to move with our breath second rounds. Inhale, come up halfway. When we're coming up halfway, we're lengthening out through the tailbone, out through the crown of the head, so your back should be flat. It's like you're a tabletop. And then exhale, placing the hands on the mat, step back into our plank, or it can be knee down plank like we did earlier. Engaging the core, wrists are under shoulders, one line of energy out through the tailbone. And then we're gonna move down through chaturanga, pulling those elbows in towards our sides, counting down through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into up dog. If it's in your practice, bringing your knees off of the mat, pressing into the tops of your feet here. Engage the core. Really come out of your shoulders, pulling those shoulder blades back and down. Gaze looking out. Make sure to engage the core. And then exhale, press into downward facing dog here. Pedaling out our heels. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, right leg forward, back foot at 45. You're in 2 lines of traffic here, bending through the front knee. We're gonna come up into warrior 1 here. Our hips are scissoring, engaging the core, lifting up towards the sky. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here, big bend through the front knee. Nice. Can you scissor those hips so that they're level and equal and even to the front of the mat? Exhale the hands down towards the mat. Step back through plank or knee down. We're gonna lower through chaturanga. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into up dog. Knees are off the mat. You're really pressing into the tops of your feet. It's almost like you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Engage the core, shoulders pulling away from ears. Exhale, downward facing dog here. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, left leg forward, come into warrior 1 on the opposite. Back foot at 45, bending through the front knee, coming up here to warrior 1. Remembering to scissor those hips. Perfect. Arms are straight up, engaged. You're holding a beach ball above you. Can you bend even further into that front knee, but make sure the knee is in line with the ankle. You're pressing into the outer knife edge of the back foot. Back foot's at 45, perfect. Breathing here, and then exhaling, hands down to the mat. Step back through plank or knee down. We're gonna lower through chaturanga. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into up dog here. Knees off the mat. Really pressing in the tops of the feet. Perfect. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath. Inhale. You can step or you can hop to the front of the mat. And exhale on the forward fold here. Swaying from side to side. Inhale, come up halfway. Again, your 1 line of energy, a flat top, tabletop. Nice. Gaze looking out. And then exhale into our chair pose here. Again, knees are not over the toes. Tilt the pelvis a bit. Engage the core. Lean forward a bit, mom. There you go. Nicely done. And then exhale the hands out to the sides and back to heart center. Now we're gonna flow with our breath here. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Exhale them back down to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhaling, stepping back into plank, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, knees off. Or stay on the ground, whatever's better. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, back foot at 45, warrior one. Exhale, hands down, step back through plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Big bend. Exhaling, hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or hop forward. Come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, the hands down to the sides and back to heart center. Again with our breath. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Exhaling them back down to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, step back through plank or lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward, warrior one. Exhaling the hands down, step back through plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, or come to a child's pose, whatever is better for you. Inhale, left leg forward, warrior one here. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog here. Inhale, step or hop forward, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale the hands down to the sides and back to heart center. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, stepping back into downward facing dog here. Bring the knees down to the mat, out wide, come into our child's pose here. Walking the hands out. Really sinking down into those hips. Walking the hands out. Or you can bend through the elbows, clasping your hands together in a prayer, bringing the hands back behind the neck. Now's a great time to grab a glass of water if you're thirsty. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. Inhale, come up onto hands and knees here. Press back into downward facing dog. Again, those feet are about hip width apart. Pressing into all 10 fingers. Trying to press the palm into the mat. Can you tilt the hips up even higher, up towards heaven, up towards the sky? Inhale, right leg straight up. And then exhale, bring it forward here. We're gonna turn the back foot so that it's parallel to the back side of the mat. bending in through that front knee. We're gonna windmill our arms out, up and overhead into warrior two here. Engaging the core. You're really pressing into that back knife edge of your foot while bending through the front knee. Arms are out to the sides, and then gaze is looking out over the right fingertips. Really bend into that front knee here. Tilt the pelvis a bit. Warrior two. Flip the front palm and then exhale, reverse warrior, hinging the right arm up and over while drawing the left hand back down the back side of your leg here. Gaze is looking up towards the right fingertips or straight forward, neutral neck. Keep that bend in the front knee. Exhaling, right elbow down towards the right knee. Inhaling, left arm up and over. Extended side angle here. Really working on our balance. And then exhaling, windmilling the hands down towards the mat. Step back through plank or knee down. We're gonna lower through chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, come up into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog here. Big breaths. Inhale, left leg straight up. Exhale, bring it forward. Again, back foot is parallel to the back side of the mat, bending through the front knee. Windmill the arms out, up and over. Warrior two. Arms straight out at a T. Gaze looking out over the left fingertips. Remember to tilt the pelvis, engage the core. You're lengthening up through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head. Really bend into that front knee, making sure that the knee is in line with the big toe. Flipping the front left palm. We're gonna exhale into reverse warrior. Left arm up and over as the right arm draws down the back side of the thigh. What can you lay down today? How can you do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Exhaling, left elbow down to left knee. Inhaling, right arm up and over, big stretch here. You can have your left palm facing up in an act of receiving. Really pressing into the outside edge of that back foot. Engage the core. Try not to fall too much into that left elbow. And then exhale, windmilling the hands down to the mat. Step back through plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna flow with our breath. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward. Back foot turning out, warrior two here. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, elbow down to knee. And then exhaling, windmilling arms down to the mat. Step back through plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. At any time, you can come to child's pose. Remember, this is your practice. Inhale, left leg straight up. Exhale, bring it forward. Back foot parallel to the back side of the mat. Inhale, warrior two here, looking out over left fingers. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, elbow down to knee. Windmilling arms down to the mat. Step back through plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, warrior two, bending through the front knee. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle. Exhaling, hands down. Stepping back through plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg straight up. Exhale, bring it forward. Warrior two, bending through the front knee. Flow with your breath. Exhale, reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Hands down to the mat. Step back through plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog here. Knees down, out wide, hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Letting the forehead fall on the mat. Take a drink if you need to. How can you practice the golden rule today? When you exhale, can you let the belly draw closer down towards the mat? Can you sink your heart and your shoulders down into the mat, into the earth? Inhale, come up onto hands and knees here. Press into downward facing dog. Pedaling out those heels. And then slowly make your way walking up towards the top of the mat here. And the forward fold. Inhale, your arms out, up and overhead, slowly coming up one vertebrae at a time. And then exhaling the hands down to heart center. We're gonna move into our peak pose of today, into our tree pose. So you wanna have a flat surface, someplace where you can balance on one leg. Coming to the middle of your mat here, or the top. I'm just gonna be facing you. We're gonna shift our weight into our right leg. And we're gonna inhale, left leg up towards our ankle in a kickstand. You can stay here if you like. But let's stay here for just a moment as we ground in towards the mat, tilting the pelvis a bit, lengthening up through the spine, up through the crown of the head, engaging the core, imagining that you're shooting down roots through your right foot. And now if it's in your practice, go ahead and inhale the left foot above the right knee or up towards your groin, whatever's in your practice. Find a spot on the wall or somewhere that's not moving that you can focus your gaze, your drishti. Inhaling through the belly. Inhale your hands up towards heart center. And again, you can stay here if it's in your practice. Or if you would like to spread your branches, slowly grow your branches out wide, tucking the pelvis down, hands out wide if you like. You can do whatever mudra you would like. You can even clasp your hands. If you want, you can sway from side to side to work on that balance even more. Whatever you like. And then exhale the hands down to heart center. Gently release that leg and shake it out. Whew. I don't know if you guys felt that, but I did. All right, again, we're starting with our firm foundation. Feet are hip width apart. Big inhale, big exhale. Shift your weight over into the left side, the left foot, grounding down. Inhale, the right leg up to a kickstand at your ankle here. Engaging the core, try to stack those hips so that they're level. And then if it's in your practice, we're gonna inhale the right foot above the knee or up towards the groin. You might find that one side is a little bit more balanced than the other. That's really normal. And then making sure that we're lengthening up through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head, hands at heart center. Imagine those roots out through your left foot. And then inhaling the hands out, up and over, spreading those branches if you want, doing whatever mudra feels good. Again, you can sway from side to side. Ooh. We are free because Jesus died on a cross for us, on a tree. We're staying in this tree pose to help us remember the sacrifice, God, that you made. Help us be a light to other people, to spread our branches out wide. Exhaling the hands down towards heart center. Whew. And then exhale, slowly release that leg. Roll out your hips, sway from side to side. All right, coming back to the top of your mat here. Feet shoulder width apart, inhaling your arms out, up and overhead. Exhaling, floating down towards the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhaling, stepping back through plank. This is your last chaturanga. Make it good. Pull those elbows in as you exhale down. Inhaling up. And then exhale, press into downward facing dog here. Inhale slowly, making your way up towards the top of your mat, hinging from your hips here. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back into our downward facing dog. Last down dog of the day. Exhaling the knees down. And we're gonna move on to our sit bones here, drawing our legs out in front of us. We're gonna slowly lower down onto our mat, one vertebrae at a time, engaging the core as we do so. And then we're gonna inhale the left knee up. We're gonna take the right knee into a figure four here. So bringing the right ankle up by the left knee. And then weaving your hands, clasping your hands behind that left thigh here into a nice figure four. Flex through the right foot. You can sway from side to side. Nice hip opener here. And then now try to wrap your legs together so that they're intertwined like roots, so that the right knee is still on top. Placing your hands out at the side in a T. We're gonna exhale and twist over to the right side here. Huge twist. And then look over your left fingertips. So if you can, and if you need to uncurl your legs a bit, that's totally fine too. Looking over your left fingers. Really breathe in through your belly here. Looking out over the left fingers. And again, if this is uncomfortable for your feet, you know, you can kind of unravel them a bit, but the goal is to keep that right knee on top. Inhale, bring the knees back up towards the center, engaging the core as you do so. And then exhale, unravel. This time we're gonna bend through the right knee, placing the foot on the ground. We're bringing that figure four up on the left side, left ankle a little bit outside of the right knee. And then we're gonna intertwine our hands back behind and through like we're threading a needle, and then clasping the behind the right thigh here, getting a nice stretch. I always like to take my left elbow and kind of press into the inner side of my left thigh, and then really bring that right knee back towards your chest to get a nice stretch here. Flex through the left foot. And then now we're gonna intertwine our legs again. The left knee's on top. We're gonna take our left foot behind our right calf. Hands are out wide at a T. And then we're gonna exhale, twist over to the left side here. And if your legs can't intertwine like that, that's totally fine. We just wanna keep the left knee on top. Gaze is looking out over the right fingertips. How can I do unto others today, God, as you would have me do to them, as I would want them to do unto me? Engaging the core, inhale the knees back up towards the center, very carefully, slowly. And then unravel. Inhale both knees together, bringing them in close towards your chest, clasping your hands on your shins, rolling from side to side. Bending through the knees, placing both feet on the mat, drawing your heels up towards your sit bones here. We're gonna move into bridge pose. So we want our back flush to the mat, arms are outer sides, palms facing down. We're gonna inhale the belly up towards the sky, really pressing into the feet as we do so. And then begin to roll the shoulder blades under by walking your hands underneath your sit bones and pressing your forearms into the mat to lift your belly even higher. And it should feel as though you're holding a block between your legs here. Can you bring the belly up even higher? And then exhaling, releasing one vertebrae at a time. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side to release any tension in the lower back. And then inhale both knees up towards your chest here. We're gonna move into happy baby. Grabbing your big toes with your big pointer fingers and pulling those knees back towards your armpit. You can roll from side to side. Extending one leg and then the other here. Nice abductor stretch. Do whatever feels good for your body right now, whatever last pose, whatever last stretch you might need to do before we enter into our final resting pose. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest, and then exhale, release them out on the mat here. Feet are splaying open to the side. Letting your shoulder blades roll under, arms are out at your side, palms facing up. Moving into our Shavasana, our corpse pose. We're going to relax, starting with our feet. Imagine that they're growing heavy on the mat, releasing them, letting them splay open, releasing the tension we hold in our shins, in our knees, in our quads, in our thighs, in our hamstrings. Imagine that your hips, imagine that your glutes are just melting down into the mat. As you breathe, imagine that you're expanding into your belly, letting it grow big and wide like a balloon, and exhaling, letting it draw back in towards your back, releasing tension that you hold there, unclenching. Up to your pecs, open your heart towards the sky, up towards heaven. Let your shoulders fall into the mat. Imagine that your fingers are just growing heavy, and that God wants to give you something today in this state of rest. Imagine, what is it that He wants to put in your hands? Letting your head grow heavy like a bowling ball back towards the mat. Releasing tension in your mouth. Move your mouth around. Let all the words that come out of it be words that we would like to hear ourselves. In our nose, thanking God for all the beautiful smells. Our eyes help us to see how you see God. And in our ears, help us to hear what it is that you want us to say and want us to listen to. What words are from you and not from you. And then just come to a total resting place, ultimate surrender pose. Stop doing and let God. Release. Begin to wiggle your toes. Begin to wiggle your fingers. When you're ready, slowly begin to roll onto whatever side feels good, using your forearm as a nice pillow in a supported infant pose. When you're ready, slowly push yourself up into an easy seated position. You can keep your eyes closed down, or you can gently flutter them open. The golden rule. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Gently flutter your eyes open and inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Exhaling them back down. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Exhaling them back down. Inhale your arms out, up and over your head. Big stretch up. Exhale, bring them back down to prayer, heart center. The teacher in me honors the teacher in all of you. And we'll end our practice by saying Jaimasi, which means victory of the Messiah in the Pali. So this is the conclusion of our worship, our mind, body, and spirit tied to Jesus right now on our mats. We'll end saying Jaimasi, 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 and amen. Jaimasi. All right, thanks for joining, you guys. I'll stay on the line if you have any questions.